WGEM Sports with Sports Director Tony Cornish Jr.
Well, the Illinois High School Association's Executive Director, Craig Anderson, has been a very busy man, you could say, for the past 24 hours or so. Earlier this evening, Anderson, after consulting with health officials from various agencies, announced that the boys' state basketball tournament in Peoria has been canceled, along with all remaining Winter State Series postseason tournaments. The Class 1A and 2A state semis and title games were on the schedule for this Friday and Saturday in the land of Lincoln, but because of health concerns surrounding the coronavirus pandemic, the sports landscape has changed mightily in the past 24 hours. Anderson also stated today that, quote, while we had support from the Illinois Department of Public Health and the Peoria City County Health Department to continue our efforts and events with limited spectators, it has become untenable to continue the events among our member schools. Anderson went on to add, multiple schools who are participating or hosting these sports and activities have been forced to withdraw from those roles, clarifying the need for the IHSA to take definitive action. Finally, the executive director added the board considered suspending the events, but after deliberate discussion, did not believe that was a realistic option. Craig Anderson, a very busy man indeed, trying to hash out all these details regarding the IHSA. Let's move on now. Other topics we want to talk to you about in regards to the IHSA. They made no decisions today also related to spring sport tournaments. Anderson also took time out to commend all the coaches and administrators from the Class 1A and Class 2A state finalists who traveled to Peoria today and conducted themselves with the utmost of class under some very tough situations and circumstances, no doubt about that. Meanwhile, at Monroe City High earlier today, the Class 3 state Final Four bound Panthers took part in a big pep rally, I should say a pep assembly at Monroe City Middle School. Students from both the middle and high school ranks were on hand today to give the Panthers a rousing send-off. 28-2 Monroe City, winners of 22 straight games, will take on 24-7 Charleston tomorrow evening at 6:20 in Springfield in the state semifinals. We wish them all the very best. Meanwhile, in the Hawkeye State, the Iowa High School Athletic Association state basketball tournament will get underway Friday in Des Moines as scheduled. Now, all of tomorrow's games will face spectator restrictions due to the increasing concern for the spread and impact of coronavirus. The consolations and finals are set for Friday at Wells Fargo Arena. Only team members and game officials, credentialed media members, essential tournament workers, Iowa Events Center staff, and select school spectators will be allowed inside the facility. Meanwhile, in the college ranks, Summit League Commish Tom Doble also announced earlier today the suspension of all regular season games for member institutions until March 30th. Western Illinois University in Macomb is directly affected, of course, by this decision. Now, the NCAA has also canceled all remaining winter and spring in the NCAA championships. That means that there will be no March Madness this year. The NAIA has also canceled all winter championships. A lot of changes on the sports landscape. Meanwhile, at Hannibal LaGrange University, the Trojans athletic department will continue to host home athletic events. HLGU will also continue to allow athletic competition as necessary to fulfill prescribed protocols from athletic governing bodies. Now, all travel must be pre-approved by university administration. The Hannibal LaGrange Athletics Administration will continue to confer with conference staff and the NAIA with a focus on the health and well-being of student athletes. Meanwhile, on the Hill in Canton, the Lady Wildcats of Culver Stocking College will not get a chance to go dancing after all on the hardwood less than 24 hours after receiving an at-large bid to the 40th annual NAIA Women's Division I National Basketball Tournament on Wednesday evening. The tournament set for Billings, Montana was canceled today due to the pending national health crisis. The Cats were going to be a part of a 32-team championship field set to start playing on the hardwood March 18th after finishing the season with a 20-11 slate. In high school football news and notes, former Hannibal High head football coach Mark St. Clair is now out of retirement. It was announced this evening that the Missouri Football Coaches Hall of Famer is now an assistant coach with the Bowling Green High Bobcats. St. Clair led the Pirates of IHSA for more than 2 decades before retiring. And Jarrett Runyon is also headed to BGHS to take over as the new head girls basketball coach. He'll also serve as an assistant with the Hornets football team. Runyon has worked at Palmyra High for the last 5 years as an assistant with the Lady Panthers basketball team and the football team as well. Just a reminder, tomorrow morning, Culver Stockton Lady Wildcats head basketball coach Jeanette Burgeon will join Ryan and Brock on WGEM Sports Center. Be sure to tune in starting at 7 a.m. on WGEM Sports Radio. That's ESPN 1440, 98.9. That's a wrap for sports. We'll be back after this.